So I went with camper friends to a place to get something to eat, Kuntika. The cool part about this is they got bears. They feed the bears every night and they show up while people are eating. So when I went up to this place last year in Michigan's UP, I was actually really conflicted because obviously there's some bad things about feeding wild bears. I had a lot of comments on that video, so I figured the quickest and easiest way to reply to those would be another video, so here's some thoughts. I got excited and forgot to show the food, but I had ribs and chicken, like a combo thing, and they were both pretty good. It was good food. But, you know, the reason everybody goes is they want to see the bears, and it's this restaurant's hook for sure. Now, one of the first things that a lot of people said is this is illegal or it should be illegal. I looked it up. It doesn't seem illegal. There's great big billboards advertising what they do here, and they have pamphlets all over the state. So I'm not sure it's the greatest idea in the world, but it appears to be legal in the UP. Now that right there, that excitement of a little kid seeing this, that kind of stirs my optimistic side at a place like this, that maybe people, including some kids, having this interaction they wouldn't normally have, this might stir them to maybe even one day do something that benefits animals. You never know. Again, that's my naive, hopeful side. While on the other hand, I do know that a lot of people think this is just terrible for the bears themselves. And I'll say again, I don't think this is the greatest idea in the history of the world, but I will admit I did enjoy this place. That a fed bear is a dead bear. But on that note, I also keep in mind, if you've been up in northern United States and especially Canada, bears like this, you can't have your garbage cans out by your house without building bear-proof garbage can containers. Bears do this. If you go through campgrounds, you have to be careful of bears. City dumps are still a very popular place for people to go to get to see bears. And this place is far safer than that, because I'm sure the bears can get around to the other side of the building, but the way it's kind of set up kind of separates the bears away from people. So again, while obviously not ideal, it could be far worse. Apparently there was an ice cream parlor not very far away that used to do the same kind of things, but all they had was a chain link fence separating where the bears could get close to people. And apparently one bear once took a swipe or something like that, and the authorities came in and shut the place down. Whatever standards are required around here, this place must meet, because they've been doing it quite a while. I made reference to the city dump. I was up in Canada on one of my trips and went to the city dump to watch bears and was probably closer than I needed to be. And I saw people coming up and throwing their trash, like food, right to the bears, like way closer than they should be. And if you compare this place to that, this is far safer. Other people also made the comparison to like Yosemite. This is nothing like Yosemite because you don't have direct contact with these bears. The way the building is set up, they're kind of funneled to this area where they're being fed. And I said before, obviously the bears know the way to get around the building to get to the parking lot if they wanted to maul somebody. But again, they have not had that issue at this place. I will also quickly and readily say the idea of getting people comfortable around wild bears is not a very good idea. I've been backpacking before. I was on one trip where we were hiking in the mountains, and one night when we slept, a bear came through camp, maybe 10, possibly even 5 feet away from the dining fly I was sleeping under. And we could feel, as we were terrified in our sleeping bags, we could feel the ground shake, and the bear got close enough that we could feel the breath hitting the side of the dining fly. So yes, hikers don't want to interact with bears. Woke up the next day and somebody hiking along the same route had their bear bag taken. So messing around and getting comfortable around bears is not the smartest idea. And I will also say that on this trip through the Porcupine Mountains, I pretty much guarantee myself I was closer to bears out hiking than I was here. I just didn't know it. I didn't see them. If going to a place like this makes people silly enough to think they can hang out with bears, I don't know what you can do to help people like that. Also, the camper friends I made while up here who actually took me to this restaurant, he's a bow hunter, and a pretty good one from everything he was talking about. Taught me a lot, to be honest. But I also learned, which I didn't know, it is perfectly legal during bear hunting season to bait bears while hunting. to set up big piles of food and then shoot them when they come get it. So I don't know how great that is for people to be doing either. My personal opinion. So maybe this ain't a great idea to do, but man, that don't seem like a fair fight if you're baiting bears. So after a while reflecting on this in a long, pointless ramble, I guess I have to say I'm still pretty conflicted on this. For those of you out there that think this is the worst thing in the history of worst things, I'm not here to argue with that because I understand that point of view. I don't think this is the coolest thing ever, but I also always try to be honest, and I wasn't morally outraged by this. I don't know if I am capable of determining how good or bad it is for the bears themselves. So, if you get to Michigan's UP, you decide. Have a great and wonderful day.